Hello, we're up to Majjhima Nikaya number 4 of the, or translated also as the middle length discourses of the Buddha. And number 4, Sutta number 4, is entitled Bhayabherava Sutta. And Bhayabherava is translated as fear, fright, frightful. So the English translation is usually fear and dread, the fear and dread sutta. Now it's taken this title because the Buddha is questioned by the Brahmin Janusoni, who asks about the difficulty of seclusion in the forest. When a person is in a forest on their own, that they become frightened and scared. And I thought it was quite interesting, because I remember reading a memoir by a Burmese monk back in the 1930s, who was saying the worst part about meditating in seclusion in the forest was hearing a tiger in the distance, which he said was quite unnerving, and is more unnerving when the noise of the tiger became closer. So my thoughts are with him on that one. But Buddha is sort of saying that the people who have fear and dread obviously have really sort of a lack of faith, is what he's saying. It's when a person is unpurified, and he uses the phrase the dribblers, or the word translated as dribblers, or I think Thanissaro translated it as drooling idiots, which is probably a bit harsh, but that makes its point. And the Buddha said, with purity he found solace dwelling in the forest. Basically he'd left behind the 5 hindrances, which is what sensual desire, ill will, drowsiness, restlessness and doubt. Plus he's free of trepidation, has few wishes, this is the Buddha talking about himself, is energetic, established in mindfulness and concentration, and possessed of wisdom. And he subdued his fear and dread by keeping the same posture that he was in when the fear and dread came upon him. So the 3 parts of ways of meditating was standing, seated or lying down, and he's saying that he would stay in the same position to overcome his fear and dread. And in this way, with, as it says, with right energy, mindfulness and concentration, which is the 3 last parts, I think, of the Eightfold Path, and free from the 5 hindrances, the Buddha then entered the jhanas. And the jhanas, as you probably know, are the meditative states associated with Buddhism. And in the first jhana, was accompanied by applied sustained thought and rapture and pleasure, piti and sukha. He then, with this, entered the second jhana, where he had self-confidence and singleness of mind, leading on to the third jhana with equanimity, and then to the fourth jhana, which has purity of mindfulness. So he doesn't actually say how he specifically achieved these states, apart from at the beginning with the right mindset. But once in the state, the fourth jhana, he used this state to look at his past lives. And he relates he had many thousands of births, many universe expansions and contractions. So it's almost like, you know, the Big Bang Theory from 2,500 years ago. So which is quite interesting. And the recording the many names he had, tribes that he was with, what he ate, the pleasures and pains, the passing away and reappearances in these different lives. And he states that this was his first true knowledge. And then after this revelation, he directed his thoughts to the passing away and reappearance of others and how their life deeds affected their reappearance in their next life. And this is referring, I think, to karma, the influence of the past life on the future life. And he saw this as, or he labelled this as being his second true knowledge. And the next revelation was the Four Noble Truths, which leads the way to end taints and influences. And then realising all the above, that is liberated from sensual desire, being and ignorance, he knew for himself there were no more rebirths. He'd become fully enlightened, basically. That's my understanding of what he's saying there. And Buddha then says he could be asked the question, now that he'd achieved full realisation, why continue with the practice of resorting to seclusion in the jungle or wherever? And the Buddha answers his own question. He does it to achieve a pleasant state for himself and to show the way for others. And that, in a nutshell, is MN4. Thank you very much.